Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. The acting president lays out a timeline of themes in which citizens can work together to assist in rebuilding a better Trinidad and Tobago. The Prime Minister says the police youth clubs have helped repair the strained relationships between citizens and the police. And pan lovers braved the rain on the weekend to witness the first ever motorized parade of steel band floats in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you for joining us. His Excellency Acting President Timothy Hamill-Smith has laid out a timeline of themes in which citizens can work together to assist in rebuilding a better Trinidad and Tobago. His comments came as he delivered the 36th anniversary Republic Day speech to the nation. Outlining the themes, His Excellency says it's part of a drive to inculcate new attitudes and values within the people of our nation.
Acting President Timothy Hamill-Smith is urging citizens to work together in making Trinidad and Tobago a better place. In his Republic Day message to the nation, the acting president outlined monthly themes for the next 12 months aimed at changing the thinking among citizens towards becoming a more responsible society. He says it's the only way we can see dreams become a reality in our nation.
We must chart our own destiny into the future. That is the rare significance of our becoming a republic, in which the supreme power lies with the people. I believe as Trinbagonians, we have the potential, we have the inner resourcefulness to achieve great things. The size of our nation is no impediment to fulfilling our dream for Trinidad and Tobago. Smaller countries with less resources have left us behind and charted their own course towards fulfilling their dreams as a people. So, as we integrate these virtues each month into the fabric of our daily lives, together we will transform our nation. We, the people, without waiting for any government or fairy godmother, will have sown the seeds of greatness for Trinidad and Tobago. We would have set the foundation for the peace and prosperity of our nation.
His Excellency adds that parents must take their role seriously, as the future of our nation depends on their upbringing of more disciplined people and ridding society of crime.
The breakdown of family life at the very heart of the tragedy of crime in our country. Children are the most precious of God's gifts to us. It is vital that we place significant resources and energies into developing parenting skills. This is a starting point if we hope to reverse the drift towards gang membership by our young people.
He notes that while change appears to be difficult during initial stages, citizens must buckle down and work together towards transformation of our nation to a better place.
Yes, this will demand of us hard work and discipline, and even passionate devotion to our work. Regrettably, we as a nation have adopted bad habits and have allowed ourselves to become undisciplined and lawless. We will have to reverse that trend. We will have to undertake a national commitment to integrate into the fabric of our lives new values, virtues, and attitudes. So all that we do is underpinned by these character-building principles.
The series of monthly themes are said to be centered around building characteristics focused on honesty, kindness, care for the environment and one another, family life, peace and forgiveness, discipline and productivity, which he says all represent true patriotism. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
All the nation's police youth clubs came together for a cultural extravaganza at the Center of Excellence, Mokoya, and already there are plans being implemented to expand police youth clubs across the country. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissassa says the youth clubs have helped repair the strained relationship between citizens and the police.
There were some 54 police youth clubs from across the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago represented at the Extravaganza.
Once again, a big round of applause for the Panther River Estate Police Youth Club.
We are here to guide you seems to be the overarching message delivered by the Prime Minister, National Security Minister and Commissioner of Police at the first ever Police Youth Club Extravaganza, held at the Centre of Excellence, Mokoya.
There's a lot of good happening in our police youth clubs. I'm glad that this good is on display for the rest of our country to see and appreciate. We live in a day and a time when there is a lot of concern for the welfare of our children and of our youth. Daily, our young people are bombarded and impacted with negative suggestions, temptations, and threats from predators and the like. We worry because we know how easy it is for them to be forced into activities which can be harmful to them in the long run, and how easy it is for them to fall into bad company. We worry about a shortage of positive role models and mentors in your lives, and we are concerned there are not enough constructive activities and influences to occupy the time of our youth and their energies.
The Prime Minister commends the police youth clubs for its achievements and also praises the programs for the positive impact it is having on young lives. Mrs. Prasad-Bisesa says she's convinced that all is not lost and that there is much to be hopeful for. She is also urging citizens to harness the good which is happening among the youths.
The well-being of our children is of tremendous importance to me and to all of us. As a mother and a grandmother, and as your Prime Minister, your welfare and your quality of life is a priority for all of us. You will recall 11 years ago, when I was Minister of Education, I prioritized a revolution in our education system. I felt it was a great tragedy to leave our young people idle and without supervision. I felt strongly that they should be in schools to achieve their full potential in a safer environment with supervision. Universal education from preschool to university level is a priority of my government. I ask you young people here today to also pay tribute to the police officers in the police service throughout the various divisions of Trinidad and Tobago. The parents of those who are here today in the youth clubs, I ask you to give a round of applause to your parents and to the officers of the police service.
The Prime Minister says it is no secret that the relationship between the police and the public has been challenging for some time. She says now that the police and community are working closely together, change will soon be on its way.
If the police works with the community closely, we can change this, as I say. We can restore partnership between police and people. We can revive channels of effective communication. As I close, I say, I commend the initiative of our Minister of National Security, the Honourable Jack Warner, and I ask you to give him a round of applause. I commend the initiatives of Commissioner Stephen Williams, and I ask you to give him a round of applause. And the initiatives of our Deputy Commissioners, Richardson, Craig, Alexis, and the entire team.
Prime Minister Kamala Prasad-Bisesa assures the nation's youth that they will be taken care of. The Police Youth Club Extravaganza is the brainchild of Acting Commissioner of Police Stephen Williams, who believes educating and constructively occupying the youth is a critical way to guide them along the right path. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. School nutrition caterers will now have access to up to $500,000 with no collateral to enhance their catering needs. This comes from the Minister of Food Production, Senator Devant Maharaj, who spoke at the launch of the ADB School Nutrition Caterers Loan in collaboration with the ADB and the National Schools Dietary Services Limited.
Attending school for children will now become more economically viable than keeping them at home. This from Food Production Minister Senator the Honorable Devant Maharaj, who delivered the feature address at the launch of the School Nutrition Caterers Loan at the Centrepoint Mall in Chaguanas. Minister Maharaj says the ADB and the NSDSL have developed a comprehensive loan product which will contribute significantly to the further development and expansion of the country's school feeding program. The School Nutrition Caterers Loan gives a maximum of $500,000 with no tangible collateral and convenient monthly installments at an interest rate of 3%. Minister Maharaj says the program is also in line with government's move towards poverty eradication as it serves to provide the nation's children with nutritious foods which will improve their learning capacities and classroom attention spans.
In considering our nation's children, especially the middle class, rural, and others, and those with disparate and unique needs, the effectiveness of the school feeding program cannot be underscored and is fully supported by the Ministry of Food Production, since we are founded in the food baskets and rural communities of Trinidad and Tobago. In extreme poverty, interventions such as these are designed so that attending school is more economically viable than keeping children at home. It also seeks to induce a change in home diet by educating or inspiring children. Additionally, it is believed that better nutrition and healthy literacy in this generation reduces intergenerational health and poverty cycles.
The new initiative is expected not just to benefit the nation's school children, but the caterers who will be providing breakfast and lunches to them, together with the farmers who will be supplying raw food materials to the caterers. In other words, the entire supply chain is expected to fully benefit from this initiative. Also speaking at the event was CEO of the ADB, Shivan Ramnath, who highlighted some of the important features of the School Nutrition Caterers Loan.
The program is of key socio-economic importance. This is apart from providing safe and healthy foods to our schools population, it is also a market for the nation's farmers, thereby creating rural employment. The ADB is committed to partnering with the NSDSL to encourage their cadre of contracted caterers to upgrade their operations and attain certified kitchen status. The production of meals with increased local content will contribute towards increased food production and related services, and the attainment of national food and nutrition security. This product will seek to benefit the contracted caterers of the NSDSL with a varied array of their specific needs, such as capital-intensive infrastructure works towards plant upgrades, project establishment or expansion, equipment purchase, vehicle purchase, working capital needs, land purchase, debt liquidation, and trading. Qualifying for this loan is quite simple. Citizens 18 years and over, companies registered to do business in Trinidad and Tobago, caterers contracted under the National School Dietary Services Limited.
Several contracted caterers and farmers expressed much thanks to the government and the relevant agencies for the initiative, saying their lives will never be the same.
You go to the banks and you have to actually like you're begging for a loan, you know, and this is the most wonderful thing that could happen to any small business person, where the funds to really expand is you know, readily available, and that, you know, you could actually do what you are supposed to do and what you are expected to do because you have the resources to do it. And that's, you know, a real wonderful thing that could ever happen to any entrepreneur, big or small.
I feel very excited, and I feel not for myself alone, but for my fellow caterers, because I know at this point it's struggling for them. And I hope with the loan they will venture into loans and make it better for themselves and use the money wisely. This is much more. This is a very, very good way out for a lot of caterers, because I know they are struggling at this point.
The farmers always wanted something like this because, you see, it will have a guaranteed price for the farmer, and that will help him because he will know that if he plants something, that he will get a certain price. So that will build up his service, that will build up his value in planting, because what will happen, he will know that if he plants half a lot of some product, that he will know he will get X dollar for it, instead of just going and planting and getting small money. So you know he will have a guaranteed price. So that is where the caterers and them come in. You know, they want food, and they want much more food to help the children of Trinidad and Tobago. So that is good for the farmers of Trinidad and Tobago.
It would ease my frustrations and things by means of us being able to get loans in the direction of being able to acquire vehicles, to be able to expand the business, to allow for a growth process to take place, to be able to then further serve the people that we feel happy in serving, you know. So I guess I took it as a plus, you know, for any cap, and I'm looking forward to work hard at it to make sure it happens.
Veena Bharath, News 4.
Sport is up right after the break. Stay with us. West Indies are through to the next round of the ICC World 2020 competition after a rained-out encounter with Ireland. Following their weekend defeat to Australia, both Windies and Ireland came into the Group B match, knowing the loser will surely go home. However, while Ireland had plans to cause an upset, the weather had other plans for them. Ireland managed 129 for the loss of 6 wickets in their rain-reduced 19 overs. Fidel Edwards took the first wicket with the first ball of the match, a swift in-swinging Yorker to bowl Ireland's William Porterfield for a duck as he played around it. Niall O'Brien and Gary Wilson were the only Irish players to make figures past 20, scoring 25 and 21 runs, respectively, with Chris Gayle being responsible for the loss of those wickets. Gayle produced the best bowling figures for the Windies, taking 2 wickets for 21 runs in just 3 overs. The Windies never got the opportunity to respond to Ireland's innings as a heavy continuous downpour forced the match to render no result and send West Indies through to the Super 8s as the team with the better net run rate in the competition. The Windies will next take field against England this Thursday at 10 a.m. Trinidad and Tobago time in the second Super 8 fixture. More news after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Trinidad and Tobago will in a few months' time be able to boast of having what may be the most advanced multi-fuel facility in the world. So says Energy Minister, Senator, the Honourable Kevin Ramnarine.
Minister Ramnarine alongside Transport Minister Chandvish Sharma toured the new multi-fuel facility being constructed in Caroni. The facility is located opposite the Hindu cremation site along the Caroni South Bank Road. The facility is being built in collaboration by National Petroleum, Petrotrin and the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago. Minister Ramnarine, following the tour, explains to News 4 that the facility will allow for the pumping of jet fuel from the Point-à-Pierre oil refinery to the Piarco International Airport, instead of fuel being delivered to the airport by trucks.
The facility that we have around us here today is a very critical component in the supply chain for liquid fuels in Trinidad and Tobago. It connects to the Point-à-Pierre refinery in Point-à-Pierre, the Petrotrin Point-à-Pierre refinery, and it connects to the Piarco International Airport via a pipeline. The pipeline that connects the refinery to this facility is called the multi-fuel pipeline. And there's another pipeline that connects from this facility to the Piarco International Airport, which would allow for the transmission from this facility to the airport of jet fuel.
Minister Ramnarine says the facility, which is 95% complete, has so far cost an estimated $1 billion TT. He says the facility is expected to be completed at the latest by early 2013 and will be one of, if not the most advanced facility of its kind in the world.
We expect that this project will be finished by late December 2012 or by January 2013, and that it will be operational shortly thereafter. And as I said, I'm advised by the project manager that when completed, this particular liquid fuels facility will be quite possibly the most advanced of its type in the world.
The Energy Minister explains that the facility will serve a twofold purpose. He says it can also store 2 to 3 weeks worth of fuel to avoid a national fuel shortage in the case of a national emergency of any sort.
We are also advised that there is at this facility storage for what we call RON 92 and RON 95 gasoline, which are super and premium gasoline. There is also storage here for diesel, and there is storage here for jet fuel. In terms of the jet fuel storage, there's approximately 26 days of storage. In terms of the gasoline, 18 days storage of gasoline, and in terms of diesel, 16 days. So in the event that something were to go wrong, there's sufficient storage here at this facility to supply the entire country.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Pan lovers braved the rain in Port of Spain on the weekend to witness the first ever motorized parade of steel band floats in Trinidad and Tobago. The steel band float parade was hosted by Pan Trinbago and the Ministry of Planning and Sustainable Development in commemoration of Trinidad and Tobago's 50th anniversary of independence.
The parade featured the national instrument being played by 15 of the top steel bands across Trinidad and Tobago. Addressing the crowd, Minister of Planning and Sustainable Development, Dr. the Honorable Bo Tiwari, says the event is aimed at highlighting all elements of our creative culture. He adds that it is our chance to share our creations with the world in a way unique to our country.
The whole idea is that we have created something unique in the world. Out of Pan, we have created music that we can share with the world in a way that is unique and special. And out of
Minister Tiwari believes that the creativity used to create the steel pan and mask costumes can be transformed into other areas. He insists that the creative genius of our citizens is evidence that Trinidad and Tobago has what it takes to lead the world in the invention and creation of world-changing products.
Out of Carnival, a lot of the design capability that goes into the mask making every year is also design capability that can be done for 1,000 other things, because it takes the same intelligence, creativity and talent to do other things as it takes to work in the field of mass and carnival. And in a world of technology and innovation, the opportunities for greater and greater creativity become very important to us, because these are natural to the things that we have created and the things that we do. And they can, in fact, evolve and become even more sophisticated than it already is. And in connecting with other people in the world, we can create new things that have never been created before.
The parade began at Adam Smith Square and passed through Woodbrook, made its way up to the Queen's Park Savannah. There, all 15 bands played Portrait of Trinidad, arranged by Jit Samaru, simultaneously while entering the Savannah. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you so much for joining us.